What's going on, everybody? Just going to hang out for a few minutes before we get started. Yeah. Thanks for joining. I'll put some tunes on for a couple minutes, I think. Let's see. Just need to refill my fucking water before we get started. Launch the web player now. Okay, so let's start this. Get this rolling here in about 2 minutes, I think. I just want to run upstairs and grab a drink, and then we'll start. So this first 2 minutes won't count against our 20-minute or so demo that I was planning. And today we're going to build another tone from scratch. I think I would put a note or whatever, a post about trying the Plexi amp model today. So 2 seconds, be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's get this show on the road. So I have the delay between OBS and YouTube pretty quick. So if anybody wants me to try something out, if anyone gives a shit and wants me to do that, you can just throw it into the chat. I do need to know if you hear reverb on my voice. I'm pretty sure that's a no, because I haven't configured anything. So if anybody can let me know, yes, you hear reverb, or no, then I'll know what you're hearing. Besides me ending the stream and then seeing how it sounded. Oops. So we're going to start streaming my really awesome 2009 looking laptop built-in webcam, because who cares? And also because I left my webcam at work. Oh my God. Okay, we should be rolling. I don't want to keep the, I gotta minimize OBS because I have nothing in there I need to mess with. And this is a live stream, so this is the price we pay for getting free gear demo reviews. Today I'm going to use my trusty ESP LTD Viper 301 that I bought in 1999. I think it cost me $500. And it's a tone I was messing around with earlier. Okay, I need an empty preset. There we go. So 39A for me on my unit. Once again, we're working with the Line 6 HX Stomp. Probably necessarily don't really need. I also have Studio One 5 or 4 or 5, whatever the hell I'm using, up. So that's why you may or may not hear any reverb on my voice. If you can let me know if you do. I'm sort of trying to figure out how to run my DAW the same time I'm streaming so we can have fun with some effects there. I know there's a billion videos on YouTube. I'm lazy. Sort of. I don't know. All right, so we got a new preset here. Let's start off. Let's not throw a pedal in front of the amp. So let's start going just direct into the amplifier, the first spot. Let's go pick an amp. And sorry as I can be, you can't see what I'm doing, but we're using technology that most people have. I'm a person who works a normal job, and I can afford to own a few pieces of really nice gear at a time, and that's it. And the nice gear I probably make payments on. So, yeah. It's a pretty normal thing, right? Because I can't buy gear when I got bills. So, I get single pieces of gear. That's the whole point of this aspect of my channel, my artist channel, is to get pieces of gear that normal people can afford and check them out. Because I know when I spent, I don't know, $200 or $300 on my Fortin Zool noise gate pedal and it took a shit, I was upset. It's still broken. I haven't mailed it in. Why? Because I am a normal person with a normal job and bills. And that's just not in the budget, man. It's not in the budget to fix it. So that was an investment. I will be mailing it out at some point. So starting out with the amp model, guitar amp clearly. So I wanted to try out a Plexi. Where are you? I know you're here. There we go, Brit. So we got a Brit Plexi Normal, Brit Plexi Bright, and a Plexi, I guess it's jumped. It's jumpered. Brit Plexi P75 Normal, P75 Bright, and a 2204. So I'm coloring these as Marshalls. Or I mean, I think that's what the model is supposed to be. So I'm just going to go to the normal, bullshit, to the Bright Plexi. So here's the total, shit, I don't know how loud that's going to be because I turned that down. There we go. So these are the absolute presets that come. I'm tuned to D standard, to drop C. Tuned to drop C. They got the drive at 1 o'clock. Bass is at 1 o'clock. The mids are at 9. Treble at 6. Everything about this sounds terrible to me. I don't know what you're hearing, but I'm hearing a amp model that needs a lot of help. So we're going to take, first of all, we're going to take the master down all the way to noon. Taking the master down to noon, and you can get you can kick the settings back to whatever their factory settings are by just pressing the buttons, 3 buttons. Control knobs. Call it what you want. But we're going to keep it at noon, and we're actually going to save. We're going to save that. So, okay, so we took that master down, taking the bass down, taking everything to noon, mids to noon, treble, taking that to noon also. Normally when the presence is set to noon, I want a more in-your-face signal, so I'm going to just jack that up to 8. Let's see what that. All right, so the beginnings of a heavy tone. The channel volume is at noon. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I'm going to take that up to 8. Because again, I'm looking for more of an in-your-face punch, so to speak. That's a little better. Let me go back to OBS. Okay, that should be a workable volume, so if anybody's having problems, you'll have to let me know. If you know me, you can just shoot me a text or whatever. Hey, it's loud, or hey, I can't hear anything. All right. You may play this, we're getting. Let's get 2 songs on there, 4 songs ready for you. So I was getting a text from the bass player and the band I'm in. Okay. All right. I'll get back to all that. So, what are we on our time? Okay. So, since we're just getting fired up, we've been about, I want to set our timer for, I don't know, 15 minutes. So, we'll do a 15-minute run for now. Maybe later on, depending, I can hop back on if anybody wants to hear anything different with this presentation we're doing today. Again, I'm using the Britplexi Bright. So I can hear that I'm going to have to use if I want to use this for some heavy tones, some kind of dirt or something pedal in front. Maybe in the effects loop, I don't know. And I'm not trying to get a modern metal tune or whatever. Let me air quote that real quick. Just trying to get a tone that I like. A little rock and roll, but also a little obituary. Does that make sense? Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Sorry, I went into the Wayback Machine obituary. So I'm going to stick a, let's go grab a distortion pedal, or maybe, I think we just need to try an overdrive. Let's try the Horizon Drive. I'm curious. So drive's on 2.5. I want to set this up. I want to crank the level. Oh, the gate range. I don't know that I need. No, authenticated. I don't need a extended range gate. I like the gate control. It's just 1 through 10. Funny. I'm messing with the Horizon Drive, the gate. level. So it's cool because the gate level is just a 1 through 10 situation, and it's actually very responsive even in this digital modeling configuration. And once I get a tone that I think is worth a shit, I'll start running just through some riffs, just to hear what it sounds like. So now I'm messing with the attack of the Horizon drive. The preset is 2. That hurts my earballs a little bit. It's very distortion pedally. I feel like the more attack is increased, it sounds more genuine, like microphone at the amp. Which I'm into. Bright. How about we take out some of that bright? That was kind of cringy in the earballs. So we have the level of the overdrive at 9. Let's take that down a tiny bit. Let's go with 8. 8.1 or 2 maybe. Just for leveling. So there's a bit of a workable tone there, I guess. I feel like I'm kind of having to shoehorn a little bit. I'm going to throw a gate. I'll probably turn the gate on in the front of the signal chain. That'll kill some of that buzzing you may or not be hearing in your earballs. So actually, we'll leave that alone then. So I'm going to throw EQ, maybe a chorus. Where do you put your EQ? On this thing, I'm sticking it at the end, the very end of the signal. What we got? Check out dynamics. Let's go to legacy. Bunch of compression pedals, a boosts, a bunch of stuff. I would also stick at the end of my signal, depending on what I was trying to compress. So yeah, anyway, EQ, let's do a stereo EQ signal, low and high cut. That's kind of piercing, but of course, remember on the amplifier, everything is at noon. So I know, and also there are some effects possibly on the signal that you're hearing from my DAW being in, because that's where my inputs are going first and then coming through the computer. So I don't know. Did it sound like I knew what I was talking about? I don't know shit about funk. Noodling. Lots of noodling. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and start slapping in some stuff. I do like, it's cool when you create each block of effects on the little screen, which you can Google and pull up a picture of the unit. I'm not fancy enough to make a video. This is live, baby. The little blocks where you create, you can move them around and do lots of things. There is a shitload of stuff I don't even know how to do yet, and that's why I'm doing this video series. which I'm probably going to do 5 or 6 more, and then we'll decide if this is a piece of shit for me. Not that it's a piece of shit as much at this point. I think clearly we're getting to the point where we're seeing this as a useful piece of gear. The next step will be to see how it works in a recording in a live situation. But I think there's probably enough content about that out there. But again, I need to look and see. If it's all by sponsored big YouTube people, then I need to put something out for folks who have not been on YouTube for a decade, doing consistent streaming and making videos. Because they don't have I have no audience. I have no expectation. I can do whatever I want. Play whatever song I want. I want to... You're welcome. End of speech. Okay, so I'm back on the Brit Plexi. So I've put an effect in front between the guitar and the amp, so now I need to tweak. I'm going to take the drive all the way to 0 and move up to each stage real quick. So at 1, that is not usable. We can skip to 3. That's not enough overdrive, for a metal situation, but it still sounds cool. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, you get the point. So let's tweak a little bit. I really don't think we need more mids. I think it needs less mids. So now we're just trying to see what kind of workable tones we can get out of the amplifier simulation. Or amp model, excuse me. It's kind of like banging on it. It sounds like a little bit like banging on a screen door or window at grandma's house. Let me in. I want more than hose water today. All right. So I need to move a little faster here. We're starting to run out of time. So I'm somebody who always uses chorus to varying degrees. I don't necessarily like digital chorus. I very much prefer an analog. However, that's always subject to change. It's just... Well, I'm talking about in a guitar signal path at all. I come from a place of a pedal. But I also come from a place of digital effects. My first digital effect, like this multi-effects processor, was in 1991. It was a Zoom something or another. Zoom 3000 or something. I like that analog chorus. Probably needs some depth pulled, a little bit of depth pulled out. Make it a little bit deeper, so to speak. Don't make it weird. What is this? Oh, vibrato, right? I don't know if I like vibrato in my metal riffage. So I'm finding that... Don't come at me, Iron Maiden, please. That's pretty bright, for sure. And that's also a point of this, is we're just trying to keep it as bright as possible. I mean, let's dirt it up for some, see how it does chunky tones. Because I have not really heard much of a chunk. Maybe not much of a metal chunk. That's better. One, let's move it back up to 6 and see how. Yeah, I know the chorus doesn't really go there, so. So it's really, really noisy. And I know that's because of the drive and all that shit. You know, I'm actually really curious. And I want to try some more overdrives because I feel like there's a spongy tone that I really dig with this Plexi model, which is the Brit Plexi Bright. So we're getting a lot of bright frequencies out, so I dig that. As a reminder, wow, that I have the drive cranked on the amp. Let me turn that down. So just as a reminder, I have messed with the bass, mids, and treble. I took mids out. Let's add some mids in for all of the mids people. Mids are at, I don't know, about 11 o'clock. Let's crank them up. And I'm taking it back down to drums. Still really, really, really noisy. So they definitely got that right, because these amps are pretty noisy. But also sometimes the gates really suck. And these amp modelers. No, this isn't making the most fantastic tone. I'm not entirely. Let's take out some low end. I don't really want to. High end, yeah, it's really bright. not a shitload of sustain going on really either, is there? I wonder if there is a compressor sustainer. I'm sure. Let's see. Dynamics. Filters. Oh, that could be fun. Filter and pitch synths. Oh, this shit's so much fun. Dynamics. Stereo. Auto swell. Is that even useful? I've never found auto swell to be useful at all. But I also like a good flanger sometimes. What the hell? I just put a chorus in the front. How about no? I really don't think I want to add a cab into that. I don't even remember what the hell I was doing. Anyone? What do we have going on here? We have... That's a no. Well, it's still very dirty sounding. So really, all right, let's try another drive. The valve driver. Fuck it. That sounds amazing. And here's the horizon again. That sounds a little anemic. So I think useful is a term I'm going to use to describe this amp model, which again, the amp model that I'm saying is useful for metal tones is the Britplexi Bright. Everything else is subjective, but I think we can get a pretty good tone just with the regular presets, with touching nothing, because when I switch in between the different effects, pedal models, all that shit that's in here, it kicks it back into the default version unless you saved it. So I didn't save anything with Horizon Drive or Valve Driver. It's just basically everything's at noon or 10 or 11 or 1 o'clock rather. Yeah, looking at the Valve Driver, the settings are pretty typical. So I pulled all that chorus bullshit out that I put in there, and it sounds actually pretty fat. So that's curious and interesting. So I'm going to go with getting rid of that. Oh, what the piss. Oh, there we go. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, and if you move the little blocks around, whether they're empty or not, because you can cycle through effects just by turning the block. I have an empty block, turn it, boom, I got Kinky Boost. All right. Oh, boost, not boots. Damn it. That's like a fuzz pedal, but I got a fuzz pedal a driver in front of it. So that's kinky boost, baby. All right, anyway, yeah, so I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I'll just, if I get 20 views or 15, I guess, 15 views, I don't care how long, I'll make another one. So I've just been going back and forth between, I cut the mids down to like, chainsaws, turn the bass up to lactose sort of tolerant stomach. It sounds just like... So it's cool, like as a guitar player, you guys know, maybe. Sometimes all fucking gear just sounds the same. It all sounds like a big muddy mess, and you don't even know what you're looking for. So... Yeah, like sometimes you're like, oh shit, like that sounds great, man. And then other days you're like, yeah, so not so much. It sounds like, stir-fried ass or a bag of hammers. That's what that sounds like. That's what that kinky boost. The drive on the boost is like way jacked up. No bright. By default is what I mean, or default, however you want to say it. So I killed all the drive on the boost. So the boost is on, and the bright aspect of the boost is on. This is our last segment here. So we're working with a boost we put at the beginning of the signal chain in the HX Stomp. So that is with the boost, with no overdrive engaged. Let's engage the overdrive. That sounds like dog shit. So I need to take a lot of bass out of that. I need to take treble way down, level back down. Notes aren't really distinguishable, but it makes a pretty heavy bunch of noise. Big open chords work. So yeah, you can make it. So that kinky boost, not really a fan. Oh, what's that? Oh. Tuned to drop C anyway. Terrible. I will set it. So let me see. What is the so the noise gate? I turned the noise gate up a lot, and it did not help. So if they got one thing right about the Plexi model, even without. Well, let me double check that. So I took out the distortion pedals, the front. That's still fucking noisy. The noise gate's on. Let me turn it off. So no noise gate right now. It's noisy. So I think they got that pretty well right. The drive is jacked. Lowering the drive lowers the noise. Lowers the metal. Oh, whatever. That's a really nice clean sound, though. Well, clean is subjective. So same amp, sort of a clean tone. We're rounding our last minute and a half of our time together today. Not really going to play the tuning song at this point. So anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out if you chose to. All the usual shit if you want to give the video a thumbs up. All that means, man, is that somebody still wants to learn what this gear can do. That's all that means. I'm not going to make any money off of this. I'm not paid. I'm not give a shit about, whatever. I think if you're still here, you get what I'm saying. Middle-aged dude, loves to play guitar. I have some nice gear. I really want a new head. I mean, I got this Paul Reed Smith MT-15. Basically, the thing is as loud as you can get for $700, and this shitload of power and tubes. I mean, they had to restrict some of that power, right? Because really, it's like 50 watts. So this lunchbox head, and we'll mess with my amp some other week or whatever. Because that amp is a great deal, and it is fantastic for metal. Out of the box, even. Only because it has that boost on the treble and the clean channel. Because it just kicks the volume up. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. This live stream is ridiculous. So anyway, like the video, subscribe to support the channel. I don't even know what that means. It takes 1,000 subscriptions to be able to monetize your channel. Who cares, man? Who gives a shit? I have a job. But if you want to subscribe to see more of these videos, to see if there's gear that you're interested in, that you want to try, that you don't have the bucks for, and you're considering financing with a firm or one of those services, I just make payments to Z Sounds or whatever when I buy gear. It's easy, especially if you make your payments. Pay your shit off early. They'll keep letting you pay while you play. And that's something that folks like myself who have a modest revenue stream, modest means, you can get some nice stuff, man. But I'm not here to find deals for you. You can do that yourself. I'm here to show you if this shit and work over it and see if it's any good. All right. Have a good rest of the weekend. I'm just going to sit here and play for a little while. So it's up to you if you want to hang out. But the stream's over.